Hey everybody, welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Monday, the 6th of November. Don't know what happened to my brain. Glad to see you here. Glad to be here. This is Remembrance Week, and it's a week that is always sits closely to my heart because my husband is in the military, and um, ever since I was a little kid, as a brownie and a Girl Guide, walking to the cenotaph and the parades, and um, laying wreaths and things like that. It's always been really powerful for me. But one of the gifts of it for me right now, because I'm the padre to our local Legion here in Wainwright, is I get to go to the Veterans Dinner to offer the grace before dinner, and I'm present when people are awarded their pins for how long they've been around. And last night was really a great surprise because we have a retirement community in town called Battle River Lodge, and every year they bring a group of the widows and widowers, um, who and veterans, widows of veterans, and the retired the veterans who live there. They bring them to the dinner at the veterans dinner, and it's free for veterans and their spouses. So they'll come, and this time one of the widows that came, she comes every year. Her name is Velma, and she was sitting with her family at a different table, and they called out her name because she was getting her 45-year pin. With lots of applause, and the gentleman who gave her pin gave her a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and it's quite beautiful. But the big thing is that you got to know Velma. Velma is like probably the shortest person I've ever met. She's so tiny, and she reminds me, if there was a seniors version of a Cabbage Patch doll. Remember those back in the 80s, those Cabbage Patch dolls, like the cute faces you just want to pinch. And if there was like a seniors version of a Cabbage Patch doll, that would be Velma. And Velma she's got some memory issues. I mean, she's up there. She's been an associate of the Legion for 45 years. She's not she's not a spring chicken. I can't remember exactly how old she is, but she's got grown family and grandchildren, and I think she's pretty sure she's got great grandchildren. And she's just a delight. And she's one of these people who, even though she doesn't remember things, and even though life hasn't been completely, okie dokie for her, in she's one of those blessed people that in her memory loss and in her way, she has sort of, her default is to be pleasant. Her default is to smile and to be so happy to see you. I see her once a month at least when I go up to the Battle River Lodge to do an Anglican communion service. And I know she knows that I am her priest from Edgerton. I am not the first female priest in Edgerton, so I don't know whether she realizes that I am Rachel or that I am just the priest from Edgerton who brings her communion. It doesn't really matter. But she always greets me and tells me how much she loves it when I come because my words make her heart sing, and I tell the best stories. And I know she probably doesn't actually know which priest I am, but she's so appreciative. She's so beautifully and wonderfully open to what we're doing. And her way of being that way is joyful. Like, she can be down. I remember hmm, probably about 9 months ago, our church from St. Mary's Edgerton decided we weren't going to have church in Edgerton. We were going to actually have our church service at Battle River Lodge, and we invited lots of people to come. We had a potluck lunch, and Velma was there, and she sat through church service, and then we went and we had some lunch, and she said she just wasn't really feeling very well. And I'm pretty sure by the end of the day she had to be taken to the hospital. Like, even when she wasn't feeling very well, she just didn't want to put anybody out. She just wanted everybody to be okay, and she didn't want to be a problem. So she was just not feeling very well. But she's just one of those gentle, soft souls that when you see her, you light up. I mean, I am not a hugger. I'm not like a real, like, touchy feely kind of person. But whenever I see Velma, I just want to give her a hug. I want to hold her hand. And she does that. If you walk over to her, she'll take your hand. And the whole time she's talking to you, she'll hold your hand. Even if she can't remember who you are, you get her complete attention. And she loves you for just exactly who you are, the person who came to spend some time with her. And that's beautiful. That in her, in the reality that she lives in, she is a very peaceful person. And it got me thinking because yesterday I was looking through my Facebook and I saw Contrafax, one of our subscribers, one of our contributors, had shared an article on Facebook about a gentleman, I think from Denmark or someplace, who has some significant some significant mental health issues, and he lives in a state of coming in and out of sort of delusional things. But in his state of delusion, he has these ideas that he is, um, he's in contact with conspiracy theorists, and that he's being watched by everyone, and so he's very happy in this place that he is someone who can help save the world, and he's not tormented by his mental health issues. In living in his mental health issues, he's actually feels like he is contributing to society in a way that when he is lucid, he wouldn't. That he would feel depressed, and he wouldn't feel like he's accepted. And but he lives in this world, and he goes online and follows YouTube. He believes that he is has the power to help the world. And the conversation, sort of going back and forth with the doctors in this article, was about, what's wrong with that? Maybe maybe we need to accept be in that place where we acknowledge, yes, absolutely. If someone is at risk of hurting themselves or hurting other people, yeah, then reality needs to kick in. But when somebody is living in a world that is harming no one else, and they're at no risk of harm to themselves, why are we so quick to condemn them? We don't look at Velma and say, we need to tell her over and over who we are, that she's got an absolute grasp on what's going on, to the point that she might actually begin to realize that she can't remember things. If she doesn't remember that she doesn't remember, that makes her happy. There's no stress there. So why would we do that to her? And if this person, this gentleman, is able to live a healthy life, and take care of himself and have all the things he needs, and he's not hurting himself and he's not hurting anyone else, then why would we say that we need to medicate him, or we need to counsel him, or put him through therapies that would bring him back down to a realistic ground where he would recognize that he is not important to anybody, that no one cares what he thinks, that he isn't saving the world, that, these conspiracy theories aren't true, and hence don't need him to save the world? Because where he's living right now is in a beautiful place. I remember years and years ago, probably 25 years ago, I watched a movie about a woman who who had been in some kind of something had happened, accident or something, and she and her husband had been so close, like they were each other's whole worlds. And in this accident, she had something happened to her brain, but also her partner was killed. And when she would sleep like almost like a coma for long periods of time. And when she would come out of it, she had to face the reality of people telling her, okay, call her Nancy. Nancy, your husband was killed in an accident, and this is your life now, and this is what's happened to your body, and this is what you can expect for the rest of your life, and none of it was good. But when she was in her sleep state, or her coma, or whatever, however it was happening, she was living a beautiful, ongoing life with her husband. That while she was asleep, while she was not aware and not conscious, she was living out a beautiful life that carried on where they had left off. That her brain knew that she couldn't handle the reality. So her brain was keeping her in a state of unconsciousness where her brain could then create a reality that she could accept. And I remember thinking, that's pretty powerful. Why are we so quick to denounce those states? Yes, I get it that, there's times when that could become dangerous to live in a delusional state. But for some people, especially, I work a lot with elderly people. And if they can live in a world where they don't remember that there's wars happening, and they don't remember that the spouse that they were married to for 62 years is no longer with them, that their kids don't come and visit them, or that, maybe they have a disease that's going to, cause them bodily harm, and take their life eventually. If they're in a place where they can live peacefully without having to deal with those realities, just because they're facts, what's wrong with letting them live in the reality that they are experiencing in their head? For the 99% of the population, this isn't going to work. We have to have jobs and we have to take care of people and take care of ourselves. But why are we so quick to say that this reality is the one reality and you have to get with the program? And we have to tell people who have dementia, or over and over and over, what the reality is, when the fact is, I've had lots of conversations with people with dementia and Alzheimer's, where when I just enter into the relationship, enter into the conversation, where I might say the same thing, answer the same question 18 times, but they're peaceful. What's your name again, dear? I can't remember your name. My name's Rachel. Oh, yes, that's right, Rachel. How are you doing? What's your name, dear? Can't quite remember your name. What's your name? My name's Rachel. That's right, dear. What a beautiful name. I'm so glad you're here. What's your name again? They're happy. They're peaceful. They're talking to someone named Rachel that they have no idea who she is. It's not, is it more important for me to say to them, my name's Rachel, you already asked me that question? Because when I do that, then they get flustered and they're aware that, oh, yeah, I forget. But when I simply answer their question over and over again, they're interacting. They're living in a peaceful place. I think we need to start rethinking issues of mental health and dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that, and recognizing that sometimes where we are, when we meet people where they are, is exactly where they need to be. We don't have to be changing them. We don't have to be teaching them. We don't have to be therapizing. They're being therapeutic with them. We just need to engage where they are. Because if we could do that, and we could help more of the Valmas of the world and more of the gentlemen from Denmark in the world to simply live in peace, what, pray tell, is wrong with that? Just something to think about. Have a great day. God bless. And I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.